Hey guys, Braden from Adrenalin Rush. On this episode of the Kite Fit program, we're going to talk about the Kettle Bell High Pull. Now, if you've seen the deadlift or the sumo deadlift, or you've seen maybe some of the kettlebell swing, then the Kettle Bell High Pull is going to be a bit of a combination of those two, okay? Now, we're implementing some of the sumo deadlift technique for the starting position and following it through with an upright row. Okay, so the big thing with the Kettle Bell High Pull is one, getting into a good starting position, generating force effectively, and keeping that neutral spine the entire time. So, same starting position for possibly a kettlebell swing or even a sumo deadlift, depending on how wide you like to have your feet. Again, it is personal preference, but as long as you keep the idea that you want to keep the knee joint lateral force free, so you don't want your knees to be like this when you're doing it, and just really externally rotating and getting the glute medius to activate and the glutes to activate is what we're trying to achieve. So we make sure the kettlebell is in line roughly with the middle of our feet or with our ankles. I come down, arms are nice and straight. So as I come down, this is my starting position. I'm keeping my knees out. What I do is basically engage a lift by driving through my glutes, keeping my arms nice and straight. Once we get to the top of the deadlift here, we finish off with the elbows coming up and then back down. Just like that. Now obviously this is a little bit light for me, but we've got a nice orange kettlebell to stand out tonight. But really you can really pull some pretty big weight and pretty big kettlebells off the ground with this. I know there's some brands out there that make like 80 kilo kettlebells. That'd be a monster of a thing, but I certainly wouldn't do it. But even the 32 or the 24 can be quite effective as well. Now the big thing you want to make sure is obviously that when you do get up to the full extension part of the deadlift, that momentum's coming through and letting the kettlebell come up. Now if this position does give you a little bit of grief, especially around the shoulder, may have a little bit of shoulder impingement there. So if you know that a position like this is going to give you some grief, maybe wouldn't recommend it. Try and get that sorted out first through some rehabilitation, mobility, soft tissue work, whatever you need to do, and then come back into the kettlebell high pull. Okay, so as you can see, nice wide stance, really going to help build that posterior chain engagement. Great if you chuck it into a little circuit or a conditioning part of your workout or in your program. Give it a go. I'd love to hear what you thought about this and if you found it effective. Really going to help for kiteboarders, especially get that pop off the water, builds that strength through the back, and also maintains a nice neutral spine, which is something we're always trying to achieve. Okay? I'm Braden from Adrenalin Rush. I hope you learned something tonight or today or whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Kite Fit program. Cheers, guys.
Check out adrenalinrush.net.au for all the links.